Hi, this is your bumper sticker lecture on Odour of Chrysanthemums. The first thing I always ask people to do with this story is to do a close reading of that first paragraph. The paragraph seems rather superfluous to many readers, but it's really doing a lot. For one thing, it's providing a setting. It tells us the time and place we are and creates that dreary tone because of the poor conditions that we can tell just from the first paragraph. Another thing is the woman who is trapped, insignificantly trapped between the jolting black wagons and the hedge. That woman is not Elizabeth, but she provides some symbolism as to how Elizabeth's life is, and in fact probably all our characters in this story. This is a drawing I found that I thought rather represented what we might see in a town like this. In this story, we have three kinds of conflict. We always expect conflict in any traditional story, but we don't always have all three types. In this case, we obviously have conflict between the characters, between the male and female characters. We also, however, have a conflict between Elizabeth and her environment, the society, the town, the expectations that they have for her. Perhaps more importantly is the inner conflict that we see in Elizabeth, because she seems to be fighting that romantic side of herself all the way through in favor of the practical side. This is a cultural artifact also, as so many are, because we are set in a mining town in the north of England, and it'd be a great idea to do some research on that if you can, because this really was a hard life. The town, the mine, the stores, probably your home, would be owned by the mining company, and really you'd have very little chance of ever escaping that life. Gender criticism is obviously a good choice for this story, and by criticism I don't mean negative, but an analysis of the story and what it says about gender roles. There are obvious issues about the woman being at home caring for children, as we generally expect, but there's also this very specific and moving part that shows us that the women are the ones who prepare the dead. The style of the story includes interesting use of dialogue. Throughout there's a lot of dialogue, but the dialect of the characters is very important. It goes a long way toward showing their relative education or class in life. I think you'll notice that Elizabeth's speech is much better than her contemporaries, and suggesting that perhaps she married beneath her. A lot of people tell me they don't know what chrysanthemums are, so here are a couple of types that you might have seen. They bloom in the fall, which we'll talk about in a minute too. These are the ones I call daisy mums. I don't know that everybody does, but those are chrysanthemums as well. And they come in a lot of colors. You've probably seen them around. Symbolism is very important in this story, and we have these flowers working as both universal symbols and as symbols that are peculiar or specific to this story. Chrysanthemums traditionally mean beauty. They're feminine symbols, and that certainly works here. However, chrysanthemums are fall flowers, and so they often are considered death flowers, or flowers that bloom when things are dying away. Specifically in this story, I think that those chrysanthemums have come to represent the things that are tying Elizabeth down, the things that have trapped her: his drinking, her marriage, the children. We also see a number of uses of the male-female symbolism in this story. the male-female opposition is very nicely symbolized by that first section where we have the woman trapped in the hedge with the male image of the train going by. So when we get to the end of the story, we ask ourselves, is this a dynamic character? And in other words, has she changed? And I think that it's clear that she has changed or come to a realization of some sort. The finding out about the husband's death would be the climax of the story, and our denouement lasts quite a while, and we have a rather long resolution also, that where she is considering what she has learned, what ideas she's come to. And I think she's clearly made some peace or figured some things out. I mean, you need to reread that last part, even though it seems to go on a little bit long. She knew what a stranger he was to her. She had denied him what he was. She saw it now. She had refused him as himself. She was grateful to death, which restored the truth. So it seems to me that she has understood her husband better. She has taken more of the responsibility for their life together.